Today we're going to talk about the proper way to build a driveway, and not just any ordinary driveway, something really special and unique. This driveway that I'm standing on looks like it's pieces of flagstone or slate put into place. It's not. It's one solid piece of concrete that has actually had color added to it and had prints put into it. It's where it looks like it's stone. See, 2 feet by 2 feet, here's your grout lines. They're not grout lines though. It's one piece of concrete. We've even added some highlight colors to make it look like natural stone. The guys are busy right behind me on this other house doing that very thing. The concrete's been poured in place, but it's not set up yet. It's not too dry. They're broadcasting out by hand a base color, which is also a hardening agent. It has to be super hard because we're going to be pulling cars, boats, other things up and down on this driveway, and we don't want the color to break off. So they're broadcasting this color that has a hardening agent in it across the surface. Then they're coming back with a trowel and they're troweling the color right into the top of the concrete. Now when you broadcast it onto the concrete, it can't be too dry, because if it is, you're going to scratch the surface of the concrete, and it can't be too wet or else it's going to soak in too deep. We want it on the very top layer. When you put in this phase, you got to wait about 30 minutes. So we'll come back in half an hour and go to phase 2. Well, our 30 minutes are up, so it's time to do final prep work and then start stamping the concrete itself. You can see that they're running a trowel over all the places just to make sure that it's really smooth. Using an edger around the edge of our driveway, so we're going to have a nice, clean, rounded finish. Plus, they've also broadcast out a releasing agent, which is also a different color. This is phase 2 of our coloring effect. We want an antique look to it, so this is going to add a lot of highlights. Plus, it's also going to allow the stamp to release. You know, if anyone bakes bread, they put flour on their hands so that the bread itself doesn't stick to their hands when they're working with the dough. Well, the same thing happens with the stamp. We want to create a pattern in top, but we don't want to yank out concrete and make a brand new pattern that we're really not after. So this second color coat, this releasing agent, actually lets the stamp itself release from the concrete when we pull it up. The big important thing here is to make sure that you don't mess up your pattern. You've already got a pattern where we've stamped, so you've got to interlock the stamp on top of that so we continue the same pattern. It doesn't look like it was a brand new stamp. We want it to look like one continuous pattern of stone. Now we're going to come back in 30 days for just one final last step to make sure we preserve this look for a lifetime. Well, 30 days after our driveway's been stamped, it's time to put the sealer on top. It's also a good idea to throw a little color into that sealer to really bring out some highlights. As far as patterns and color choices, it's basically endless. Here we have a slate look on our stamp. Over here is the stamp we use for the actual driveway. This is an old European cobblestone look. Here we have a brick look, and they use actual bricks when they make this stamp itself, so it is going to have the exact same detail as a brick or piece of marble or slate or even cobblestone. And as far as the money itself, it's about double what the normal concrete driveway would cost. Driveways aren't that big, you don't have to spend that much for concrete, so if you double the price, it's not a very big investment. And you talk about curb appeal, when your friends and neighbors pull up, this is curb appeal.